Classics ranging from a purple two-door to a mean Mercury. The hills of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee were full of classics and muscle cars alike. Rare and unique rides were on display at the Shades of the Past Car Club. A car fit for a princess and a few other custom rides were there, and you can see them all on today's episode of Dream Rides. Welcome to Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, coming to you today from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at the Shades of the Past Car Show. Trucks, cars, and some bizarre rides were in attendance at this year's event. It was a hot day in the mountains, but that didn't stop the families from coming out. And this next car would make any child happy.
15, 16 years ago, we started a collision shop, and my wife came up with the logo, and we thought it was a Cadillac. But one of the older guys working for us pointed out it was a Buick. So we went out some years later and found one, painted it pink, and that was how it all started. We found it in Beaverton, Oregon, and she's the third owner of the car. So when we got it back, surprisingly, it was in really good shape. We stripped it, had a little bit of rust in it, but reworked some of the body, dents and dings, fixed all the molding, painted it, but overall it was in good condition when we found it.
Our paint guy went through a lot of different color paints before he got the right one for me, so he worked hard.
It's a PPG paint, base coat, clear coat, both the pink and white. She brought in a blanket and a t-shirt and had our paint guys match it up. Mike had to go through quite a few, and then he added some metal jewel because she wanted some pop, some sparkle. And once he tinted it a bunch of times, it worked out. I don't have any problem driving the car because the color came out so well and it's so cool. And we did it up old school with the wheels and white walls, so it still looks like a hot rod. It's a Buick 401 nailhead. It's actually the original engine that came in the car. We went through it, rebuilt it, added the nostalgia valve covers, painted those. It's an old Cadillac air cleaner that we just painted up, pinstriped it, match everything we had. We love the fins. The trunk's got plenty of room in it. That was what attracted her to the car, were the fins.
We sent it to a shop and tried to keep it more like it was with a little bit more pop to it. We've been really happy with it. It goes with the car. Everybody seems to love it.
The patterns are pretty much original. The dash in the car is original, and we didn't want to destroy it. It was in such good shape. So when we redid the seats, we brought the gray into the pink and white, and then we tried to keep the same pattern as original, pretty close. Yeah, well, a lot of thumbs up. You feel kind of like you're in a parade when you're going down the road. A lot of people are looking and taking pictures.
My biggest thrill for me is the women. So it involves the women at the car shows. They absolutely love it. And little girls' eyes just light up like it's a princess car for them. So I'm always opening the door. Go ahead and get in. Get your picture. Don't feel like, can we take your picture? Take yours with it.
Yeah, we like to share it. We let the kids get in it. A couple of ladies were just up here. She opens the door, lets them get in, take pictures with it. So it's a neat experience.
It's had a lot of ladies and a lot of little girls sitting in it getting their picture taken.
Shades of the Past is a local car club. We've been together. Well, this is our 33rd year for putting on the event. Not necessarily here. This is our 4th year to be at Splash Country Dollywood. We used to be across with 53 acres on a farm, which was grass, no inside toilets, and there's no running water, and this is fabulous. Dollywood's been great with us.
Stay with us. After the break, we check out a couple of mean, mouthy Mercs, only on Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products. This edition of Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. And by Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Welcome back to Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products at the Shades of the Past Car Show. The club has members from all over, and vendors line up to share their products. Next up is a Merc with a whole lot of mods.
It was old school. It had shag carpet and everything in it, but it had been done a long time ago. Just had rolling pleated interior in it. About 3 weeks after I got it, a lady run a red light, a little intoxicated, and hit me and tore it all to pieces. And we built it back from ground up. It's a two-door sedan. It's been customized. My good friend A.J. Inge did the car for me and built the car. I mean, it's been chopped about 7 in the back and 4.5 in the front. It's got a LT1 350 Corvette fuel-injected built engine, a 700R4 transmission. It's got a full-length frame with 9-inch Nard Ford rear end in it with 370 positive traction. Disc brakes all the way around, air ride all the way around. We took all the chrome and sent it to Advanced Plating in Tennessee, here in Tennessee. Advanced Plating redone all the chrome. The chrome on the side is come from a 53 Buick. It's got 59 Cadillac tail lights in it. He built me the third tail light. It's like a 58 Chevrolet, but with a tail light in it. I told him to go for it. Just do what he wanted to do, you know. And it's got 54 DeSoto grill teeth in it. You know, it's like I say, it's been chopped and shaved, lowered and everything. So it's a dream car of mine. It's a dream car, something I always wanted. And finally got it. It's got a 57 Chevrolet Dash in it with Dakota gauges and everything. Built like I wanted. He done an excellent job. He's a very talented man, Mr. A.J. Inge. And it was painted at his shop in Mako in Chesapeake, Virginia. Candy apple purple. But I am satisfied with it. This is the first show, bringing it here too, and I've got a lot of confidence in it. It means a lot to me. These on the side here are fake, but they're molded in. The exhaust actually comes out the back. Eventually I'll probably put flamethrowers on it, but as now, you know, I just wanted to show it and let people enjoy it like I do. You know, I just wanted people to see it. And yeah, the French antennas with twin antennas on it where it give it the old school look, you know, and it just got a little classic touch, one not quite up as far as the other one, you know.
1950 Mercury Coupe. It's been just regular primer, it's been primer yellow, it's been a greenish primer, and then I had it a satin maroon. And the satin maroon was my favorite. A diesel tire blew out in front of me and hit the front of my car. When it blew out, it busted all my grill teeth, rolled up the back of the car and busted all the paint. You can't fix satin, you gotta paint the whole car. I wanted it bright and I want it white with flames. It's got like a distressed leather kind of look in it. It's a maroon with a gray, all rolled and pleated. The dash is satin maroon like the color my car was before. And I wanted to keep that in there because I thought it looked good with the white with the flames. I have people coming down the interstate and they're like, hey, 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 all out the window, and I just wave and smile and go on, and just people stop me all the time in town. Can I take pictures of your car? Your car is so beautiful. And, you know, little kids, they're just like all about it. And even, you know, there's adults and they're just like, I love your car. It's just perfect.
Next on Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, we turn our attention to a purple two-door with a unique paint job. Stay with us. Welcome back to Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, coming from Shades of the Past Car Show. There are all kinds of different rides at this year's event, and this next car is no different.
The make of the car is a 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air Custom. Sort of a Johnny Cash car. It's got a lot of parts of different makes. Got Oldsmobile front end, Chrysler top, and Chrysler tail lights. Just ZZ 450 crate engine and a 700R transmission with a Morrison chassis. The guy that built it told me it was in good shape when he got it. He just had seen this car in his mind for a number of years, and whenever he retired, he was a pastor of a small church and done body work on the side. So when he retired, he decided to build this car that was in his mind. Well, it was extensive. He said it took him 6 years in the build, He hand formed the bumpers, front and back, welded, cut pieces and welded them together till he got the look and the fit that he was looking for. With the Morrison chassis under it and crate engine and transmission, air conditioning, power steering, brakes, it runs and drives like a new car. I don't know a whole lot about it except that it's extremely difficult to do, and I keep praying that nobody will scratch it or hit it because I couldn't duplicate it. To me, the unique things are the entire top of the Bel Air was cut off, and he cut a top off of a Chrysler LHS and brought it to the body and of course fitted it. It sounds kind of easy, but it's really not when you consider, you know, the difference from a 54 to this Chrysler LHS, I think was 78 or 80 or somewhere in that range. So there's a lot of difference in years, and so he had to do a lot of fitting, welding and grinding. He didn't like to do a lot of lead work, so he had to do a lot of metal work. I've had it about 2.5 years and enjoyed the heck out of it. I don't think it's not that easy to sell them nowadays. Cars are not, you know, bringing very much. I bought it in a time when they were bringing quite a lot more than they are now. So consequently, you either take a loss or you keep it.
Peace, tranquility, and meekness are not in this Dart's vocabulary.
It's a 1965 Dodge Dart. We started off with an original 65 Dart. The first thing we did was we wanted to give the car a forward motion. The cars kind of have a weird backwards motion, so we wedge cut the roof 2 inches, and instead of lengthening the roof or leaning the A-pillar back, we actually shortened the car 2 inches, and we left the wheelbase stopped. The plan was to cut the front fender wells out and move them forward 2 inches. Well, 2 inches wasn't enough, so we wound up stretching the wheelbase an additional 2 inches. So the front fender wells have been cut out and moved forward 4 inches. So the car, bumper to bumper, is shorter, but the wheelbase is longer. We just wedge cut the roof, 2 inches in the front, nothing in the back. It's a complete custom chassis on Ridez coilovers, all tubular A-arms and stuff up front. It's got a torque arm with a reverse watt link rear suspension. Everything you see is all custom handmade. All the panels there are all custom handmade sheet metal pieces we made there at the shop. The engine is an 09 5.7 Hemi that's been bored and stroked to 392 cubic inches, and then we added a Magnuson supercharger. The dash is all custom, the seats are custom. Pretty much everything in there is all handmade, from the gear shifter down to the gauges. The paint is called Green with Envy. It is a factory Mopar color. It's all Glazerite products. In 1965, Dodge offered a package that was put on at the factory called the Go-Go package, and they offered an offset stripe on the driver's side. And we've changed the car so much that we didn't want to put it like it was from the factory, so we just put it on the passenger side and just add a little vibe there from back in the day.
Next on Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, a classic vet with a major attitude. This edition of Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, is being brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Evapo Rust, super safe rust remover. And by Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Welcome back to Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber Products, coming to you from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Next up is a Corvette with some minor tweaks.
We've got a white 1967 Corvette. It started with an old original looking car that cut out the scoop on the hood and everything and put the carburetors and all through the hood. We bought the car, basically stripped it all down. All we wanted off the car was basically the fiberglass and all of the chrome pieces. Got a Mass Motorsport LS7 motor in it with a Hilburn 8-stack injection system. What we were looking for is kind of to take and bring an old Corvette into the 21st century, which makes them go fast and stop, all at the same time. As I said, by putting all the modern stuff together, along with the chassis and all, the car just performs unbelievable. The only thing original on the car is basically the fiberglass and what chrome pieces, which are now brushed nickel on the car, that most of them have been cut and tucked and modified. You know, our concept of an engine bay, mine is we didn't want to cover the engine up. We wanted, when you open the engine bay, when you come up to it, that nothing really jumped out at you. You could kind of take it all in. But to us, I mean to me, I guess, an engine bay, you're supposed to be able to see the engine. And when you walk up to this car, I think that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the engine. That these old 8-stack Hilburn systems have been around a long time and all. And everybody kind of sort of knows what it is, and it just adds horsepower, and you get that feeling looking at it. And the other thing is just all the side panels, everything, we just want it nice and smooth, no big void areas, and where you can just take in the whole engine bay at the same time. Much as I like looking at it, driving is way more fun than looking at it because it's 750 horsepower Mass Motorsports. And you ask the car to play, and it's ready to play.
From all walks of life and no matter what age, everyone loves a Bel Air.
I've been in a barn in Newport, Tennessee for about 25 years. And I went over and looked at it, and it was pretty rough, so I brought it home. Everybody thought it was going to have to commit me. It was pretty rough. So a friend of mine owns Cool Colors in Knoxville. He did body work on it, and Robbie Carter did all the metal work on it for me. And it took him about 3 years. Replaced all the sheet metal. It's on a Fat Man frame, all new sheet metal. We use the firewall and roof bolts. Everything else is all new. Yes, I got a 57 hardtop, and I always wanted a convertible. We found this and just started working on it. I just old school. I just like the looks of it. Got a 502 in it, 502 horsepower with 2 4s. It does good. Did the tombstone where the engine's all clean on the backside and stuff. We closed all the firewalls and everything, just made a clean look out of it. That's a custom air cleaner. The guy built the car, built the air cleaner for it. We had a mural painted on it, just a little different stuff. It's all custom. Steve Holcomb did the interior on it. He did made all the interior for the whole car. Did all the upholstery and the carpet. He built the console. He did all the interior on it. Yeah, he did a good job with that black. It's PPG paint with a clear coat on it, base coat, clear coat. And the guy that painted, he's real good painting black. So we told him we wanted this black and slick. Most of the chrome's reproduction. Some of it we sent had it re-chrome. Most of it's reproduction chrome. It runs great. It runs good. We don't drive it a whole lot. We just been showing it, enjoying the people, having a good time with it.
I bought the car 4 years ago in Pigeon Forge. My wife fell in love with it. It actually drove down from Virginia. It was a driving car when I bought it. We done a frame-off restoration on it, 3-year bill on it. We wear it on 3 years, had it 4. It was drivable, but that's about it. You could throw cats to the floorboard. Finding parts for it. It's hard to find parts for a 55 Packard Clipper, so that was the hardest part. My wife wanted it. It's just a so unusual car. It was just never saw one before.
I just really loved the design, the way the chrome kind of swooped down, and to me it was just very eye appealing. And then when we got the car and we started doing research, I was just hooked. I mean, it was so unusual with the torsion leveling system. There were so many factory options that were on the car that we take for granted today that were there. Still usable, still in good working condition, and it's a dream to ride in and drive. Well, mostly I'm the taper-upper when he was doing the painting. I'm the researcher. I look up parts and different things. In fact, we found the original type vinyl and materials. I mean, it's just been sometimes really stressful, but most time just a labor of love, especially if you're trying to go back all original. I mean, there's a ton of research. We went back with the original colors. I mean, we tried to keep it as original as we possibly could and still have it drivable and enjoyable.
The car ran so good, the engine and all, so we decided just to go back with all the original engine, the transmission. The only major change we done on the original part, well, I want to upgrade on the radiator, cooling fans, and an alternator where it had a generator. So basically everything else is like it was, except it's new. We've redone everything. I got probably 2 years, pretty much, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and nights. We don't do cars for a living, it's just a hobby. So I do it in my house. All the work was done at my house, in my garage, except for the front seats and back seats. I had a guy up posterior that does airplanes, so that's where we went. I had the material, he done it for me.
He took the original seats and used those as a pattern, so it sounded just like it was originally.
It's been a challenge, yeah. Been good. We're back and it's done. You probably say that I'm fixing to build another car. Well, the fun of this one's done. So we're going to start over. Yeah.
That's all the time we have for today's episode of Dream Rides presented by Steel Rubber Products. And this will wrap up our look at this year's Shades of the Past car show. We've seen unique rides and crazy creations, from trucks to cars and everything in between. These customs never cease to amaze. From Shades of the Past in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you there next year. Join us next week for more Dream Rides. See you then.